Hey yo guys, what's up? I'm here, Kyle T, joined by Mr. Courtney. What's going on today, bud?
Not much, Kyle. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to First Issue Tech.
Whoop, whoop.
Beautiful day today, wherever we are, regardless of whether it's raining or not.
Every day above ground.
That's right. Every day above ground is a beautiful day.
Yep. So we dug up a cool little things. The first thing, we'll get to the first thing last, but we're digging up rumors as the mobile world starts to slowly turn over with all these new refreshes. Nokia is going to be back in business, and we're not talking about that 3310. Also, Comcast.
Wait, what's the 3310? You mean the 1020, the Windows Phone with the 40 plus megapixel camera?
No, the
Oh,
the
you
brick.
mean the little 3310, the little tiny
Yeah.
candy bar? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I was like, did I get the number right?
No, the
'Cause
number is right, but I was
it's very easy to get that one wrong.
No, our previous conversation, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the camera specs for what we consider standard cameras and good cameras and bad cameras. So I was focused on the Lumia 1020 with that 41 megapixel car's eyes lens. And so that's what threw me off when he said the 3310.
Right. Yep. So Comcast is looking to get into the mobile business as well.
Yeah, didn't I call it? I called it last year. Remember? I don't know if you remember. We were having a conversation, and I don't know if they're going to do their own thing, if they're going to buy their own spectrum, if they're going to use Verizon because they already had a deal with them. But I called the name. I should have bet money on it because I called the name Xfinity Mobile or Xfinity Wireless, and they went with Xfinity Mobile. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, damn it! I should have played the lotto more often.
You know it. Digging up some rumors on the Pixel, the newest Pixel.
Wait, the newest Pixel?
Yeah,
This is a new Pixel?
2017's Google Pixel 2B.
Oh.
Unofficial, official.
Google Pixel 2?
Mm-hmm.
You know Google's buying up all the LG's OLED displays. I wonder what they're using it for.
Yeah, I mean, they were using. We'll get to there. And one more interesting little piece. The kind of phone that you'd only see on Unbox Therapy or in the hands of your nearest millionaire, wherever he happens to be.
Shout out to Unbox Therapy. Those guys are great.
You know it, Jack. So yeah, we're going to check out a millionaire's phone. But the big news, the one that's going on, and it's...
Drum roll, please. Okay. Insert drum roll right here.
You act like we have an editor or something. I don't know where you get that from. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously by the time you hear it, it's not gonna be big news anymore because we're slow, but we're working on it. AMD releases their new line of processors. They've made through the 7 series. Now we have the Ryzen 5 series, scaling down to your 6 cores and 4 cores, competing more directly online with the i5 CPUs and some of the i7s actually. You seem to do a little more research, or more recently. What do you think as a whole? Just some general thoughts.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about again?
Ryzen.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, no, the Ryzen is for what it is. It's a monster. I just think about, like, me and my metaphors and things. I would have to, if I was to compare the Ryzen, was it 1600X to a person? Believe it or not, the Ryzen 5 would be an 18-year-old Mike Tyson.
Who could kick ass while well, I don't know, Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I give him 8. That's why I said 18.
Damn.
Because I'm going to say the Core i7, the 77, the K?
Mm-hmm.
No, not the Core i7, because it's knocking that one out. And that's supposed to be a better processor. But with the Ryzen 7, I'm going to have to call the Ryzen 7 the 21-year-old Mike Tyson, because those things are coming out the gate swinging, and they're hitting hard. Every processor out there is like, please don't hurt me.
Well, let me elaborate a little bit. The main thing it's doing is getting the price to performance. It's giving people that don't want to spend $600-$700 on CPU setup access to insane amount of processing cores
for not an insane amount of money.
Exactly.
That's why I'm like, it's screaming mercy already. All I hear is MC Hammer in my head. Too legit to quit. Please, Hammer, don't hurt me. That's all I hear when I see Ryzen 5. I can just see it dancing around inside the computer like, yeah, bitches, I'm here.
And for reference, I was actually looking into buying a cheap it's cheap by comparison to Intel stuff. 6-core, which the i7 8350 right now, or no, 8320, on their enthusiast platform costs about $350. So it's already, being 3 years old, is $100 more than what the 1600X costs now. I believe they're both unlocked, but they're rocking about the same instructions per clock speed. So they're...
The clock speeds are crazy because, right, like the 1600X is like $250, right? It's $250, and it compared to Intel's i5 76K or 7600K. I mean, it's going toe to toe. It's going round for round, and it's holding its own. And for that price point, you just can't lose.
It's insane.
I wish I could stick one of those in my laptop, but my notebook won't fit. It's too slim.
I know. Well, the cool thing about that, I think, and this is what is going to be really nice, because you're going to start to see a little shift when people realize that a lot of tech tubers state that if you're looking to build, this is common knowledge or common like mantra, if you're looking to build a gaming PC, most people, and in fact really most games, the best thing to buy if you're just gaming would be a Core i5 by the top end K-SKU, so you can overclock it, because those extra cores and extra threads you get with the i7 series and beyond don't really help for gaming given their price increase. Considering now that we have this 5 series, the 1600X chip, just talking about that one specifically, even though they have smaller ones, allows for the same price. You can overclock a little bit, which these chips don't overclock that great, but it's nice that you have that. But you can also get similar gaming performance, sometimes better, and you have 6 real physical cores, 12 threads, so you can get the same gaming performance and you can stream it. Or you can do whatever. You can edit a podcast.
Yep, that's right. You can still run all your cores and not have any reduction in performance. I noticed that. Or the amount of reduction is going to be so minuscule that you're not really going to notice it. But did you know that I wanted to tell you this earlier, that Ryzen is going to ship with the Wraith Max?
The 1600X isn't shipping with a cooler.
No, it's not. But I did notice that it was going to come bundled with them, but not the 1600X, which I thought was cool, because that's one of the best coolers.
Best stock coolers.
Yeah,
yes.
Stock, of course. We're only talking stock. We're not talking third party, because third party is almost always better. Right.
But yeah, no, AMD dropped the Wraith last year, like early last year. It's been around, the original Wraith. Yeah. And that was actually quite impressive, because
I noticed it got a lot of really great reviews from enthusiasts that were just getting stock, and some of them took their time, going third party, getting all the extra additional parts.
And that was, unfortunately, too little too late, because even early last year, AMD's old architecture was terribly underpowered. But now that they've revisited it, for budget consumers, if you want to, because you can still get the 1600, the non-X variant. It's clocked a little slower, but they're all unlocked, so they all can overclock. So if you want to spend a little less money, you can get a little less performance, and you can still get a cooler bundled in the package. That is value, and it's a good one too.
Yep, because it's not a BS cooler. I'm gonna have to ask our editor to cut out my, to beep out my profanity. This is a family show. Let's see if they can do that back in the studio. We said we were going to talk about our first item last, but we're talking about our first item first. You noticed that, right?
Well, I meant in terms of going on. You know what I mean, man.
All right, what's next? Because I'm excited for the Ryzen. I know I'm excited for it too. It makes me it's going to be the first PC I've built in a few years. Because I'm actually going to build 2 of those, and I'm going all out. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm sticking with those. I'm gonna stick stock cooler to see how it goes, to see how it performs, and then if I feel like I need to do more, which I probably will, I'm definitely gonna do more.
So is Mr. Courtney gonna build a Ryzen PC this year?
I am actually. I'm gonna build 2 because I want to do some LAN. I want to do some LAN gaming. Have maybe a LAN party. Take it back to the old school.
Nice.
Plus,
Just
with my
in
son, I can get him into it and have him help me build it, and maybe that'd trigger something in his brain. He likes playing sports, which is cool, but I try to teach him that being a smart kid is cool too.
Yeah. Pretty funny you should mention LAN Party, considering two of the biggest LAN games of all time, Unreal Tournament and Quake, are making a comeback this year.
Yeah. And people are going crazy. I'm not one of them, but yeah, they're going crazy.
I personally got my fill with Doom. I liked Doom myself, but that's a whole other topic.
Doom 3 was my favorite Doom game. Hands down, Doom 3 was great.
Because you haven't played New Doom.
No, I did play this new Doom, and I don't like it. It's crap to me.
Oh, man, we're going to have to save this for after the show, folks, because this is about to get heated.
All right, so with the Nokia 9,
I like that.
I'm really excited about that because, the specs, obviously, it's going to ship later this year, but the battery, the processor, 6 gigs of RAM, 22 megapixel camera, it's got Quick Charge 4.0, but I'm curious if it's going to come with Bluetooth 5 or just 4.1 or some iteration of Bluetooth 4. I'm not sure. There's no information on it. So
if all of these...
68?
Yeah. If all of these specs are correct, then you probably will just see... It'll be shoehorned in. It would be one of those things that would seem like it would be stupid not to include.
Yeah, come on. Especially if you want to go against the iPhone 8, Galaxy S8, because the S8 is packing that that Bluetooth 5. Did you know you can do dual? I didn't know what's it called. Come on, you got dual audio, whatever.
Yeah, you can basically connect to two separate devices and independently control their volumes.
Yeah, which is crazy. And it doesn't have to be the same. The speakers don't have to be paired together. Just the two separate devices paired to the phone. Mm-hmm. When I read that, I thought that was cool. I'm like, you know what? Man, I'm ready for a real smartphone again and dump this iPhone 7 Plus Jet Black in the garbage. Anyway, that's my rant. So, what's your thoughts on Nokia going with a full Android OS instead of using their OS over here in the States?
I'm sad because I know it's probably going to be a great phone and it's not going to sell well. It's probably going to be something. It feels like it's going to be an AT&T exclusive phone for some reason.
And it sucks when the Death Star gets exclusives.
Like probably the BlackBerry Priv is making me think that because it reminds me of the BlackBerry Priv in a way because it still has Nokia's footprint, but it's trying to bring it to the mainstream, the modern, much like the BlackBerry Priv had the blueprint of a BlackBerry, but it was equipped with Android. So
there were a lot of customers on other carriers that really wanted the Priv, but they didn't want to go to AT&T and pay the ridiculous monthly rate for service. It just, man. All right, well, I'm excited to see what it's going to really look like and how it performs. See some benchmarks. I
want to see that camera
testing. Though. I want to get the camera in my hand and see what happens with that because I would buy it. I'm not even going to lie. It's going to be a next to pure Android experience with a little Nokia on the top. So
I'm actually another thing. Because this is the first time it's been mentioned or we've mentioned it. Is I want to see what these devices because I know Samsung's not going to do it. They never do it. They do their own proprietary thing. I want to see what Quick Charge 4.0 does without anyone tampering with it.
Right. You mean just running all by itself without any charge? Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Yeah,
straight from the processor.
Yep. I want to see it too. Like how efficient is it, or is it going to blow up my phone?
Yeah, I want to see if it compares to OnePlus because I have seen nothing but great things about OnePlus's dash charging because it has all of the positives and none of the negatives of quick charging. It doesn't overheat the phone. In fact, the charging brick absorbs almost all of the excess heat.
I was going to say it absorbs the heat. They put a lot of research, a lot of R&D into that.
Yep, and it also using the phone while charging doesn't change the charging speed, or it doesn't change it, or it doesn't affect it as adversely, I should say. So that I want to see if we can get as close to dash charging, if we can get close to that speed and get rid of that heat. But that's I haven't really looked up into the finite details of Quick Charge 4.0. Anyway, I just know that Samsung's going to screw it up, and they're going to make Quick Charge. They're going to have a Quick Charge 4.0 equipped phone that's not going to charge like a regular Quick Charge 3.0 phone will.
Because Samsung has to touch everything,
Yes.
and they're still using TouchWiz. I mean, come on, man. You keep making these great phones, and you keep hurting them with TouchWiz.
They threw an assistant on top of an already assisted equipped phone.
Mm-hmm. Bixby. And I don't understand the purpose of that. I have no clue. If they weren't going with Google or Android, then I could see that. But since they're running Google's Android, then why use Bixby? It just makes no sense. Because, I don't know, just to me it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What about Google, not Google Fi, but Xfinity Mobile?
Interestingly similar, well, very similar in a way and not similar in a way. Being real, this isn't going to get very far. The long and short, what I remember is Xfinity Comcast is trying to partner and start their own wireless service. Basically, they're going to be piggybacking off of Verizon towers. And now the one cool thing, and this is going to do well in some markets, is the phone will automatically connect to any Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot. So basically any local business or anyone, I forget how it works.
Yeah, any Comcast customer that has the Xfinity internet service.
Okay, so it is any customers as well?
Yep, any customer. Because when you go around and you see Xfinity Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
the phone's going to automatically connect to it, and it won't cost them anything. So it's going to be part of their unlimited data. Like here in our area, people might actually benefit from having that phone, but in some more rural areas, I don't see that phone doing really well. That service doing well at all.
Yeah, and that's it. If they had gotten into the game in 2004 and done this, they would have some solid footing. But 2017 is the year that every carrier now has a viable unlimited option. So people see either unlimited or they don't.
Yeah.
Anyone buying a new package, good.
I'm curious to see because they're piggybacking off of Verizon because they have that long-term deal with Verizon. But there's a lot of talks that Comcast may actually buy T-Mobile, but from my understanding, T-Mobile is only interested in selling if it was to Sprint, where they would merge, and T-Mobile would probably be the dominant carrier.
Yeah, I don't really see T-Mobile's too strong. They're that strong independent woman that don't need no man.
That's exactly who they are, and they just got the most low frequency spectrum. They just won in the auction this month.
I saw that too.
They are going to be penetrating like
hard.
Man, they're going to be penetrating.
Walls.
They're going to be penetrating walls like Wilt Chamberlain.
Nice. So, yeah, good.
Yeah, I don't really care about the price plans or what they offer. It's just the fact that Comcast is trying to get into the mobile world. And you can't bring your own device. You have to go through them, which just doesn't really...
I don't remember reading that. That's a terrible damn idea. But
yeah, there's no BYOD right now. You have to get there. And right now they're offering the iPhone SE up through the 7 Plus, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus and 7, along with the LG's X-Power. Those are the phones that they're offering right now.
That's random as hell.
Yeah, so you get all the Galaxy S7s, the 2 Galaxy S8s, all the iPhones from SE up to 7 Plus. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see, iPhone 6S through SE,
Okay.
7 Plus, whatever. 6S, 6S Plus, SE, 7, and 7 Plus. The LG X-Power is not a bad phone, man. That's a pretty sharp phone, and that battery is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I actually kind of want one as a little secondary device, but
Wait for the 2. Better performance.
wait, does that exist?
Yeah, the LG X-Power 2 is coming soon. Have you seen the Stylo
wait.
3?
Yeah, not in person. I mean, not a live one. We got I've got my hands on a mock.
Yeah, I've seen the Stylo. I'm like, wow, this is a sharp phone. Wow, look at LG and their note killer. It's nowhere near a note killer, but I think it's a great phone, especially for the people that buy it.
It could be a Note 3 killer if it had a 1080p screen.
Oh, Note 3 killer, not a Note. Yeah.
I mean, hey, dude, the Note 4 is legendary in my opinion, dude. It's the
That
last
is-
real Note.
Yeah, that's still one of the most popular phones out. Believe it or not, can't believe it. There's so many people out there with the Note 4, and there's just running.
Yeah, I mean they still work good.
Yeah, I mean
and
if the
they're
battery
beautiful.
stops, what do? You go buy another battery, and your phone's still going.
Yup, and it still has the Quad HD screen, the fast processor. I think it had some form of fast charging, removable memory, swappable battery.
Mm-hmm.
And the cameras were good too. So if you
A very, very beautiful screen, man. Those colors just kind of jumped out.
and yeah, like hopping that to the Note 5, there wasn't honestly if I knew my tech. See, but back then I was like, no, but look at it's. But no, like me knowing my tech, yeah, there's not much reason to hop to the Note 5, and we all know what happened with the Note 7, which is what I believe most people tried to jump to.
Yeah, it was a sad thing.
But
And
we're getting off topic a little bit here. Let's
no,
segue.
good. That's what we're supposed to do. But we got Google spending close to $1 billion to get LG's displays, possibly for that Pixel 2.
I mean that's cool and all, but I mean they've been using OLED for the first Pixel, and I don't really see why this makes.
Because if they secure LG's OLEDs, they'll be the only ones with LG's beautiful screens.
You know, that just proves my point that why doesn't LG use their goddamn OLED in their phone?
Same reason why Apple doesn't build their phones from scratch. The
Little
Pixel
too
2, if it's sexier than the current Pixel, then I would definitely buy one. I'm a little bougie when it comes to my phones. My devices, man, they have to be sleek, sexy, elegant, classy, stylish, attractive. They can't look homely.
And
Sorry.
you are not the only one. Most people do. That's why Samsung Galaxy phones have been selling well, because they appeal to the mass market with their design. They look sexier than the other phones do usually. And that was the main. MKBHD said it best, because he was just revisiting the Pixel and said, you know, if they made a new Pixel and just made it sexier and got rid of some of the bezels, I'd buy it again, no problem. Because everyone that reviewed it loved everything else about it.
I love that pure Google experience, man, where you just
Absolutely.
give me a sexy phone. Like I'm comfortable enough now that I'm gonna take my sour Apple phone and take the case off of it and just walk around with it naked, because that jet black is so nice to look at, man. And I'm just gonna let it get scratched up. Its lifespan is coming to an end real soon anyway. We're midway through April, so the 8 is coming, and it's either I'm gonna get the 8 or I'm gonna get the Note 8 or I'm gonna get the S8 Plus. I don't know. I'm still holding off for my Windows phone, man. I don't know. Anyway, but the Google Pixel 2, there's not much out there about it right now. It's still just rumors, but obviously it's coming. I just hope that when Google goes into the design lab and they talk with their engineers and designers, they say, okay, look, reduce the bezels. Let's go all one color. Let's not go with this two-tone thing anymore. People want two-tone, they can buy two-tone cases.
That's a good point.
Make it all blue, all white, all red, all yellow. Make a phone in every color in the word Google.
True that. Make it available to purchase through other carriers.
Yes, we don't want to buy it through the Play Store. Let the carriers sell it with no branding. No carrier branding, no carrier added apps, none of that crap.
Well, in their defense, that's what they did with Verizon. They gave them the iPhone treatment, because the Verizon Pixel is just about the same pixel as you get. I'm not sure as far as bloatware.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
man.
bloatware on it, but yeah. And while we're on that subject, if Google can do it, where are you at, Samsung? Where are you at, LG, HTC? Seriously?
Now, the funny thing about Samsung, I don't know if you know this or not, but the Samsung phones, Sprint is the closest to the full experience that you're going to get, because the other carriers kind of mess up the OS a little bit, adding their own little thing to like that pure Samsung TouchWiz Android experience. From my understanding, well, actually now T-Mobile, but T-Mobile and Sprint for a long time have been the only ones where you didn't where everybody had the same features and you knew you can do certain things. But I think last year with the Note 7 is when AT&T kind of loosened the reins a little bit and said, no, we got to make sure we do this right. But then the Note 7 was a flop. So sad. I was so happy with the Note. Once I got the battery trained and we got everything managed to where the battery would last all day long, I was so happy, man. It was so just, if it was a woman, I would have married it.
Well, every woman can snap, and that one snapped, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, it burnt a lot of people. Women can do that too. No offense, ladies. Just making jokes.
Right. We love you all equally.
Last on our list is this $6,000 phone they call it the phone for billionaires. It's the Virtu Constellation. And this phone, it's got a 5.5 inch QHD AMOLED, and then it's got 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, micro expansion. But for $6,000, you only get a 3200 milliamp battery. So that kind of seals the deal for me. But it does have Qi and PMA wireless charger built in, 12 megapixel. But the front camera is 4, and it's running 6.0. So that sounds like a 2016 phone made in mid 2017, and they want to charge $6,000 for it.
But Courtney, that's so low. Why they charge so much for this phone?
I don't know. Oh, and did I mention that it's running the Snapdragon 820?
I'm rocking a Snapdragon 820. Mine only cost me $480.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just be honest. These phones have actually existed for quite some time. They're a very niche part of the market. So usually when anyone, particularly tech tubers and news outlets, find them and get their hands on them, they do make a big deal of it for very good reason. With all due respect, not every day that you know, everyone's complaining that the next iPhone costs $1,000 and this one's 6 times that.
That's one argument I don't understand, because the current iPhone 7 Pluses cost $1,000. So I see all these reviewers and bloggers and vloggers, and I talk to people out on the street when we do our interviews and our, we do our R&D. I talk to these people and they're all like, well, the new iPhone's going to be $1,000. And I pull out my phone and say, this one's $1,000. Like, oh, which one is that? I'm like, it's a 7 Plus. Oh, really? It's $1,000? Yeah, it's $1,000 freaking dollars, moron.
Yeah, people have stopped seeing the price tag once they started. Most people never see the price tag. They'll either, when contracts were still a thing, they'd sign a contract and pay a third or less of the cost, or they pay X amount per month and they don't look at the full cost. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you look at it that way, with all the carriers doing like lease options, and then like leasing a car, you pay for it for a little bit. As long as it's in good condition, you turn it back and no extra money out of your pocket.
So yeah, people don't realize they had that. But yeah, for 6 times the amount, these things have just been a status symbol for a while. They're the Louis Vuittons, they are your Dolces, they are. Look, I know that watch you have is $2,000. I got a $50 watch and I'm happy.
You're right about that, because they all tell the time.
Yes, sir.
Like when I look in my drawer and I look at my watches, and I've got watch from $14 that my son bought me with Superman on it, and I will wear that with pride. I love that watch. It's a cool looking watch. To a freaking $500 watch in my drawer. I mean, that's my most expensive watch, but I mean, I like watches. I pick and choose on how much I'm going to spend on it, because how often am I going to wear it? And
then, well, I mean, as I was watching the view on this, then you have like the absolute overkill things. Like I believe this had a sapphire screen, which is kind of counterintuitive, and it has a button made of ruby, an actual ruby encrusted
a pure
button.
Ruby, yeah.
So
that ruby must cost like $3,000.
Oh,
but the size
of it,
a lot
less than that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm being sarcastic. It's got all gold internal parts, and then you're paying for the name.
What about? And it has, I think it had like built-in concierge and stuff like that too. The true baller status.
Yeah, but nothing that
features.
I just thought it was ridiculous, and I had to put that on the board for us to talk about. I thought it'd be interesting. Give some of our listeners something to go and do some research on. That's the Vertu, Vertu Constellation. go check that phone out, ladies and gentlemen, and let us know what you think in the comments or shoot us an email.
Now,
And
before we go on too far about it, let me ask you, if you were to make a $10,000-$20,000 phone, just a stupid baller phone, what would you throw on there? What would be like your baller feature? What would make your phone stand out?
it would come with a Tesla. That'd be the concierge. You press that button, Tesla pulls up, picks you up, takes you wherever you want to go.
That's not a bad idea, though, if you bundle it with a Tesla and integrate it into the Tesla's operating system.
Yep. Oh, you want this phone? It's gonna cost you $250,000. Why is it $250,000? You got a 5,000 milliamp battery. You get 20 megapixel front and rear facing cameras, 8 gigs of RAM. You get dual Android and Windows OS with Windows, iPhone, iOS. So you can boot either Windows, iOS or Android. Oh yeah, that'd be my phone. It's gonna have Gorilla Glass 6.0, sapphire glass on top of the Gorilla Glass, so no screen protectors needed. I mean, I can go on with some ridiculous specs just to make the price of the phone go up.
Well,
It would have Ryzen 5 1600X in it, a micro version of it.
speaking of which, HP, it was either HP or Lenovo actually had a demo phone running with a 64-core processor as an experiment one year at CES, I believe. It was either CES or another trade show. But
It's coming. That's gonna be called the Surface phone. I'm telling you, people they gave up on Windows Phone. A lot of people did, but Microsoft is in a really great position with their Surface line. And when they launch the Surface that can make phone calls, which will be the Surface phone, and you can dock your phone, not like Samsung's DeX, which is going on from Microsoft's Continuum, not like HP's Elite 3. This is going to be, you're going to mount your phone and you're going to run your full PC right from your phone. No virtual console, no virtual logins. You're going to mount it. You're going to be able to put in an external hard drive plug it right into your phone. And that phone is going to be your full PC running the top. It's going to be able to compete with current specs out on phones that are right now. Basically, you're going to have a Surface Pro in your pocket that you make phone calls with, that you slide it into maybe a Surface dock or something, and you're not going to miss a beat. It's going to run just like if it was a regular Surface Pro 4 or something like that. That would be the phone to mess with, because then maybe developers will get on board and make universal Windows apps, because you make universal Windows apps where they can run on any Windows platform, then you have more users than on iOS and Android. Right now, Android is the number one being used OS right now. But if you do that, you'll have more people using your apps than you would if you were making just apps on iOS, because there are more Windows users in the world than iOS users in the world.
man, I forget how passionate you are about Windows, but yeah, I understand. You've got it's got a lot going for it.
It just needs devs. They need to bring the apps, bring all the apps. You know, they were going to have that bridge program with Android a few years ago, where you can just, the developers could do just very little to move their apps to Windows. But when it was cracked and it was super easy for the Android apps to run right on top of Windows, they canceled it. They stopped it, which I could understand, because then people were like, well, why even bother developing for Windows if we can just make Android apps and they just work on Windows Phone, because they work anyway. They work fine on Windows. But they canceled that. Now they're working with iOS developers. But even that's stagnant if it's even still in play. But we don't know. We're on the outside. Microsoft is really good at saying we don't comment on rumors. So they don't tell you anything until they're ready. But I have hope for Windows and the mobile OS of Windows, which is the full Windows 10. I like Windows 10. Windows 10's come a long way. Just got the creators update, and I'm going through that, checking for any bugs and seeing what I can find out with it, and I'm enjoying it. And just imagining having this platform in my pocket and then be able to make a phone call with it.
One day, the moral of the story is, folks, give Windows a shot, because, man, it's something nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for the night. It was great having you with us.
Thanks
Hope
coming.
you guys enjoyed yourselves as you were cleaning your house or driving to work, driving home from work, listening to us, getting your things done, trying to multitask.
Hashtag Gym Life. Thanks
I'm
for
your
sticking
host, Courtney.
with us. And
Oh,
I'm
I'm sorry,
Kyle.
go ahead.
No, it was rolling with it. I'm Kyle. We thank you for coming out. Y'all be good. Love you.